Um, this is Yazan again, and now we're talking about multiple worksheets. We're dealing with multiple worksheets and workbooks, um, templates in Excel. And a lot of times you would have to deal with multiple sheets at the same time. It's really not one worksheet or one workbook. Especially in work environment, they're quite complex. You might have data in different worksheets and workbooks, and there might be like a large amount of data, and it's really hard to just copy from one sheet to another and so on. Um, so we're going to talk about how, for example, to deal with a group of worksheets at the same time, and that will save a lot of time instead of going to each one separately and individually. We also going to talk about how to create like a summary worksheets or a summary worksheet from multiple worksheets. How to work with multiple workbooks at the same time. It will be very helpful to do that, to collaborate with other users, and how to use existing templates, and then how to create a template out of existing workbook. So as you know by now, um, a workbook contains one or more worksheets, right? So one workbook contains one or more worksheets. Let me open the exercise file. And I believe this is exercise plan. Nope. Pivot table. Nope. I think it's open here somewhere. Yep. Okay. Awesome. So you know that a workbook, the whole thing is a workbook, and a workbook contains multiple worksheets. By default, in the 2013, a new workbook would contain only one worksheet. And back in 2010 version, a workbook would by default contains three multiple worksheets. You can deal with in each worksheet has a tab, and you can deal with them. You can select multiple ones by holding the Control key and click on the tab. And once you click on that tab, you can see that I kind of selected two of them at the same time. But I only can view one worksheet at a time, which in this case it's week one, right? And you can group them, ungroup them, and so on. So to ungroup, now they're kind of grouped. To ungroup them, I just right click on the one of those tabs and click on ungroup sheets. Now it's ungrouped. Now I'm on week two. You can see I'm on week two. You can select, for example, week one, hold the shift key, and then click on week four. Now you can select the four work sheets at the same time. So for example, if I want to here type something like, let's say, sales versus projection, right? You can see if you go to week two, it's there, although I did not really type it. I type it in week one, but because I grouped those worksheets together, it reflects on the rest of them. So that's really a cool thing to do, especially when you have multiple worksheets that you want to apply the same thing over and over. It's really helpful. Another way to know that you have a grouped worksheet is on the top of the Excel file. You would see group between two brackets to indicate that you have actually multiple worksheets grouped together. It's not only that when you insert a text, it will be reflected across those worksheets. It's also like if you change something in the format. So for example, if I select, I'm on week one, right? And I select the cells from A4 up to E4. And for example, I want to change that color. I will put the yellow. Now, if you go to week four, this is week four, you can see that that format style was reflected as well. Really neat and powerful thing to do. Not only that, so for example, I'm on week four, and here I want to, for example, create a new column that would say it will be projection, right? Well, sold right, minus, oops, my bad, minus projection. Okay, so here I want to, I added a new column, obviously, and then this column would hold this kind of information. So I want to see the difference between sold and projection to see, did I sell more or did I really expect to have more and I sold less, right? And then here I will type the equation. I have a problem with my keyboard. Okay, so here, start with typing the equal. I have the sold and I deduct, sorry for that. I deduct the projection from it, right? So here now I know that I sold more. It's a positive thing. Apply it to the rest. I can see that there is, differences over here. Then I want to apply this format. I'm click on the format painter and then apply it on this column. And here I have sold versus projection. Let's ungroup these and then go to week 3. You can see that not only the text was applied, not only the format was applied, but also those equations were applied across those multiple sheets. Really great when you deal with multiple worksheets. Okay, so and then this is really powerful. When you group, you can really apply different functions, formulas, format, and so on. And then of course you can apply that. You fill across the content, the formats, and so on. And it's very helpful. But then there's something called a 3D reference. So you can see, like, when you access data within the same worksheet, right? So I'm here on week 1. Okay, so I'm in week 1. And then if I want to access the value within the value that is in this cell, so this is H5, I want to just to access the value in F5. So I'll start typing equal and click on this. You can see that this one says F5, and F refers to the column, right? And 5 refers to the cell. So I have kind of 2 dimensions here. To access any value within the same worksheet, I need two vectors. The column and the row. So I need a ladder and I need a column number, right? The same as when, for example, you say like, I live in Denver. And then maybe I can, another friend of mine I would tell him or her that, hey, listen, I live in like 105 Washington Street, okay? Because we both live in Denver, it makes sense, like, as a direction to reach me, that, send me a mail or something, that person would put that address as 105 Washington, and then by default it's in the same city, right? But if you have someone who lives in a different city, and then I would tell that person, well, I live in 105 Washington. So oh yeah, but which city, right? Where exactly you live at? So this is the same idea when we apply it here to Excel workbook. So here, for example, I'm creating a summary worksheet, and then I want to reference these across the different weeks. So here I know that I want the chicken sandwich, but I want bring that data from week 1. So here the prediction data from week 1, it's over here. So how would I do that? My bad, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's go to the summary. I would just type the equal sign, right? And then go to the worksheet that I want to bring the data from, to reference the data from. So go to week 1 and just simply click on that cell that I want to bring over. and I hit Control Enter, and I brought it over. The difference here that you can see, because I'm referring to data from a different worksheet, now I have a third dimension, which is the Excel, the sheet name. So here I have the sheet name, and then I have the exclamation to separate the sheet from the cell. Then I have the column, and then I have the row. So what this tells Excel that go to week 1, right? Go to week 1, and then go to column E and row 5 and bring me back the value, right? So this is what actually tells Excel to do. So this is what we refer to as a 3D reference. We're just adding another dimension because we accessing data from a different worksheet. A 4D would be if you accessing the data from a different workbook. So let's assume that, okay, so I have a friend who lives in Greeley, right? And then I told that person, hey, I live in 105 Washington. And then he said, well, but I need the city. I said, look, I live in Denver, okay? But let's assume there's someone who lives in a different state and doesn't really know where I live at. So if I tell that person I live in 105 Washington Street, Denver, and that person will ask me, well, Denver where? Is it Denver, Colorado, or is it Denver a different state? So I have to put the state. So this is the same logic applies here. If you're referring data from different workbook, then before the sheet name, you would have the workbook name comes before that. So it will be like 4 dimensions, 4 pieces of information to know where to access that data from. Cool? Okay, and then if I autofill this, you can see that by autofilling that, Excel understand that you're trying to the first value coming from E5, then E6, and E7 and stuff like that. So it actually understand that. But if I try to autofill in a vertical way, it doesn't really bring me what I'm looking for. It's still accessing week 1, right? So. But let's. What happened if you try? If I'm selecting like, right? If I'm selecting multiple sheets like this, I click on this, and then I click on week 1 and go to summary. Oops, sorry. Not quite what I want. Well, over here, let's assume that I have this. Click on this. Oops. Click on this. It's all grouped, right? So I know that now this is grouped together. And okay, you can also actually click on select all sheets, and it will select all sheets. If I click on summary, right, you can see that it's unselected over here, right? So obviously it's not really what I want. So here I click on week 1, and then if I go to week 1 and I click on this, going back to summary, sorry, confusing, I know. Okay, hit equal, go to week 1, hit shift, click on week 4, right? So I went to week 1 and I clicked on the shift, and then I hit week 4, and then I clicked on E5, the value that I want to bring over, right? Control Enter. It gave me a reference error because it doesn't really understand it. Here I'm saying like, okay, bring me from week 4 to week 5, and then bring that number 4. Doesn't really make sense. But this is what I wanted to do. Is here I have, let's assume that I don't have weeks. I want to take all of these. And here I want to have like a grand total, okay? I want to have a grand total. So I want to sum all the weeks together in one column here. And I wanted to do it in like one step. So I would start typing equal, and then I will type sum, the function sum, and then go to week 1, click on this projection, and then hold the shift key and click on week 4. So and then I would control enter. It's yelling at me. And I think I understand what I want. Okay, so let's go back here. What I want to tell Excel is, okay, I want from week 1 up to week 4, and I want you to bring me E5. It still doesn't like it because I have the comments here. Okay, so what I did over here is I put the sum function, and I told Excel that go from week 1 to week 4 all across all the worksheets and bring me E5 from each one of them and then add them into the sum function. So now instead of having 1 week, I have all the worksheets. And if I autofill this, it will go across the worksheets and sum those corresponding cells together, right? So instead of going to each one of them, bring that data separately, I just literally put them in one sum function and dealt with multiple worksheets together. It's really cool, huh? So this is, just a way to show you that you can deal with multiple worksheets at the same time. You can apply formats, functions, how to deal with three-dimensional names, especially if you want to apply different functionality across and so on. So that will be really a cool thing to do, a neat feature in Excel that will save you a lot of time and a lot of effort to do so. Another thing here is I want to show you, for example, if you want to save, for example, something as a template, if you go to File, and you want to save something as. So if you want to save as, it will give you multiple options. So let's go to Browse. And I want to likely leave it somewhere on my desktop, right? Here within the Save As type, you would have something that is called Excel template, right? So let me go and find it quickly. So you have Excel template, and the extension will be XLTX. And the thing about the Excel template is when you create it, it will create a template, which means every time you open it and you save, it will not save on top of that. What do I mean by that? Okay, so here, let's assume, okay, I want to take these off. So I want clear formats. Okay, and I want to delete these, right? So this is a regular Excel file. I want to create a template out of it. So File, Save As, and the computer, go to Browse, and then I want to click create a template out of it. So Excel XLTX, I want to put it in my desktop, and I hit Save. Cool. Okay, so now this is a template, right? And now I created a template out of it, and now then I want to apply that sum function that I did before. So equal sum, and I would say, well, sum all those from week 1 to week 4, exclamation, bring me E5. This is the value I'm trying to bring over, and close it and hit enter. It did that, it went to each worksheet, brought that E5 value and sum it together in one function. And then I want to autofill that, and then File, or let's just click on the Save button over here. It's actually, this is not what I was. It did save it as a template. Was not really what I wanted to do. So I have to close it and open again. Okay, let's delete this. Close it. Show me my desktop. Okay, so now that I know that you can see the icon is different a little bit over here, right? So then the regular Excel icon, double click on it. Now it opens this one. Let me do that again. Equals sum. I'll put week 1 to week 4, and I'll want to sum E5. Hit enter, and then autofill it. Okay, and now I want to save, and it will tell me, oh, how we want to save this, right? So I hit and save. I go to the computer, go over here. It doesn't really save on the original file. And you can see that now it saves as an XLS. So I would, and you know, give it like name and stuff and blah, blah, blah. So let me close that. And then I still close that as well. And over here, I thought I saved the file over here. What? This is the template one. I don't want the template. So here, file, I want to save. I want to put in my desktop. Oh, yeah, maybe I did not put in my desktop. And hit save. Let's close it. And you can see that it created a different file for me. So it did not, so the template file kept as it is, and it created another XLSX file for me, which is the extension for the 2013 Excel, and kept the template for me. So this is how you can create a template out of an original file of yours.